we'll be covering the individuals and families impacted by the Pasadena Eaton fire. Hear from community leaders and those who have suffered losses that must not be forgotten. So join us Thursday at the Pasadena Church East Campus at 425 Sierra Madre Villa. Together we can help them rebuild and recover. Together we are LA Strong, LA United. With your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not to unsettle you. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in to First Things First with the Queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First. And my first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from the Most High, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and getting it going. And it seems extra appropriate today as we are broadcasting live from Pasadena, in the Pasadena Church, Pasadena, Altadena area. And we're actually sitting in the sanctuary right now at 425 North Sierra Madre Villa. You are welcome to come and join us. We've got a few folks in church this morning, in church on a Thursday morning. And our mission this morning is to provide some information, fellowship, and expression for the community. We'll hear from community leaders and impacted individuals and families. And you, if you want to come down and join us, you are invited to do so. James Farr is with me right now. He is co-producing this particular effort. He lives here, out here, and he's a KBLA contributor as well as a writer for the LA Progressive. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Dominique, and welcome to the neighborhood. Welcome to Pasadena, and thank you and Brother Tavis and the entire KBLA delegation for the abundant support here for our community. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we're glad to be here, and as I came this morning, you can tell that you're getting closer and closer to this blaze. I have noticed in LA for the past few days, the smoke is residing a little bit, and we are starting to get, it doesn't smell like smoke. We still have the ash in the air, but here it's smelling like the first days of the fire still. And you said this is a light morning.
Yeah, this is light morning. Typically, as the fire kind of burns further away, we get more smoke at night. and the smell of smoke at night. In the daytime, it's beautiful Pasadena, beautiful Altadena. I was up in the hills yesterday looking down, and you really understand why people want to live here and just how special this community is.
Yeah, you were riding around, and I know you. I don't want to bust you out. I know you've
No,
been doing
it's
your
online.
investigative
It's
journalism.
online. I mean,
Okay, I know you've been sneaking behind the lines. Let me put it that way, as a journalist doing your thing. But after riding around in an official ride along yesterday,
Yes.
you said it was worse than you imagined, which surprised me.
Yeah, what understandably people want to return to their homes, their neighborhoods as soon as possible. And as much as I think that will be a good thing to help them heal or at least begin some process of understanding, when I saw the devastation, I can only say it's like a closed casket, Dominique. I don't know if people should go back. I don't know if it's something that they absolutely will want to see. I am going to reframe my language. I was saying that perhaps there's nothing to go home to, but my realization is I don't know if a pebble in front of your porch, your mailbox, but it's absolute devastation. There is nothing remaining.
Whew. Yeah. And so many people are impacted. I was reading this morning on the Watch Duty app. We are at 7,000 homes and buildings destroyed in Altadena. 7,000.
Yeah.
That's just insane. Typically when we hear about fires, it's a few structures,
Yeah.
4 or 5,
Yeah.
maybe a dozen.
Yeah.
7,000 homes.
7,000.
It's unfathomable.
It is.
I want to welcome another voice in here. She's a lifelong resident of this area, and she's an independent consultant, a trainer, educator, and a psychotherapist who works in the field of social services. Dr. Ishel Williams, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Okay, I'm going to hold your hand because I can see it on your face. It's a lot.
Yeah. I think just being able to, sit in this place where I'm somebody that has to care for other people. Sometimes when we do that, then we don't allow people to care for us. So being able to just thinking about mental health, thinking about wellness, and everything that I face personally, it's hard. It's very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine it, to be honest with you.
I don't want you to.
Yeah. So, I mean, tell me what happened. What happened with you and your family?
So I was at work on Monday, and usually I'm working a contract job at this point, provide mental health services to other individuals. And as I got off of work, my son called and he's like, "Mom, something's happening." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Something's happened in the fire." And at that point, I'm not watching TV, anything like that, so I'm not really aware. So I said, "Okay, baby, it'll be okay," because I'm usually spending half of the week away. And he goes, "Are you going to come home?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll be there." Just kind of not understanding the magnitude. And I called my sister and I said, "What's going on? Should I come home?" She's like, "Right now." I said, "Okay, no problem." I fast as I could on the freeway. Got home about 8 p.m. And as I got home, I could see the fire to the east from my porch. So everything's lit up red.
Scary.
And it's so funny because fire is a beautiful thing, but you got to respect it.
Yeah.
So as I look to the east and you see everything glowing red, it was almost like a stadium. You see a stadium and everything's like the bright colors. Lit up. So I go in and I've been talking to his caregiver at the time and I said, "Get this." If I wasn't able to get anything, I had the documents ready, but I wasn't prepared. So prepared through the evening, we actually went to sleep for a couple hours. And I said, if, we'll get the alert, they'll let us know. But as we know, most people didn't get the alert. So my phone goes off at about 3:30. I had been communicating with my family. Bags were packed. Everything's in the car. I'm checking on neighbors. I'm like, get your stuff and get it ready. So 3:30 comes, and we just kind of caravanned out of there. Each one of my family members, there are 17 of us.
Wow.
17 individuals, humans.
And how many homes are we talking about here?
6.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep, 6 homes. There's 4 dogs, 2 cats, and a parrot. So as we think about, what do we need to do not only for our safety but theirs, we caravanned to one sister's house. That was a, rendezvous point. And then I had to go to another sister's house and bang on her window because they weren't up. So I'm like, we got to get out of here. So we went to another location and, just tried to game plan. We didn't have a hotel. We didn't have anything. So we're in San Gabriel for a couple days, and then a law group, Adler Law Group, put us in another hotel because our aim was to stay together.
All 17.
All 17, 100%. You talk about family ties and bonds, and that's one of the things about Altadena is not only do you have your individual family, but you have your family as community. And I was thinking this morning before coming here, people say, oh, you just lost things. I lost a life. I lost a lifetime. And as I think about the lifetime, it's not only the memories, but it is everything that you know to be true about who you are, that defines who you are, that looks at history of why it is we were black in Altadena anyway. Because they wouldn't let us buy in Pasadena. So they pushed us to the hills. And as they push us to the hills, then it's an experience that says we get to create our own Mecca. And as we created a Mecca in Altadena, then we are a tight-knit people.
Yeah, I am getting that. I'm learning that.
Mm-hmm. And as we are a tight-knit people, we have lost generations of support. The one thing I know is that because we were all so close in the area, I lived in a house where my mom lived on the backside of the wall, 3 houses up. My grandmother lived 5 houses down, 5 houses in. And every sister lived in close proximity. We don't have another person to go to because the people that we would go to also lost their homes.
Your home is gone.
100%. All of them.
All 6 homes are gone.
Well, my sister rents, and she's a little bit further down in Pasadena, and her dwelling is still standing. I have a cousin where her daughter, son, and husband actually stayed for the firefight, and they saved her home. But they're uninhabitable.
Yeah.
So we think 9/11 and all of the diseases and things that people are coming up with later on, they don't want to go back to that.
Yeah, you can't go back to that. It's not safe. That's actually, James, what you were saying.
Yeah, it's
even
not
though folks
safe.
are aching to go to their homes, that it's not what you think.
It's not what you think. Outside of the environmental and the toxic contamination of things, it literally is not safe to walk in many of the spaces with power lines, trees. Trees may be.
Yeah, you
not
told me
stable.
about a gas leak where you guys were standing, so
yeah.
move or
Yes.
it could explode.
It could
And it's
explode.
just
It's
unfathomable. I am, like I said, really speechless, but just the devastation that I've seen and what I'm feeling from you. And you talk about, the generations of your family, generational wealth, and black community, black entrenchment. It's so rare in LA County. It's there. If you live here, you know that. Dr. Eshel Williams is sharing her story. James Farr is here with me, and we have many others that will be speaking. And I want to give a big, big thank you to the Pasadena Church and Pastor Kerwin Manning. We're on the East Campus here at 425 North Sierra Madre Villa, and they've opened this space to us. They have opened this space to the community as a distribution and drop-off center. So we want to thank them for welcoming in KBLA this morning and welcoming you in as well. We are broadcasting live from Altadena, Pasadena area on KBLA Talk 1580.
On KBLA Talk 1580, more First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-550-9651.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-550-9651. That's 800-550-9651.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
So this new dose is, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, we are broadcasting live from Pasadena, Altadena. Sorry for the wrestling sounds. There's a lot going on in here already. But it is really my honor to be here, and I feel so blessed that folks are showing up to share and tell their stories and organize. We are broadcasting from the Pasadena Church. That's the name of it. And this has been a drop-off point, a distribution center, and it's really such a blessing that they have welcomed us in. We were planning to be at Perry's Joint, but the National Guard is not allowing folks over there right now, so we pivoted, and Pastor Manning was kind enough to welcome us here. James, you want to introduce the young man that's sitting to your left?
The young man sitting to my left, and
Are y'all blind?
55-plus year resident, one of our strongest advocates and rebel rousers in the city. He is the chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition, a member of the ACLU Foothill, an attorney. He's like a Baba to me and a mentor. And before I say his name, I'm going to say Martin Gordon. This is another fine mess
I got us into.
that you got us into again today.
Thank you, James.
Martin, welcome, brother.
Thank you, James. And this is another fine mess. I'm so proud to be here. People always think about us older folks and say, you're there for us. I told you this at an anniversary for you. I said, there is no me without you. Because if we don't bring ourselves as the elders and you, our world for black people will never get better. And this is an opportunity. This opportunity now, with every threat, there's an opportunity. And the opportunity here for us is that if we stick together and we decide that we are not going to let Altadena, the longest standing black community in San Gabriel Valley, maybe in Los Angeles, if we're going to let this go, then it's on us. And believe me, I'm going to reach out to everybody I know, and I'm talking about in the music industry. I'm saying, by the way, Snoop, hey, dog, come out. I want to change my street to Snoop Dogg Street, and I want you to incorporate all that. No, all that. I got some other ones out there I like to, because we as black people must understand that we have these outside investors come in and want to do something with our communities. Let's take some of our black people that have money and invest in our own community and make sure it stays here. So I went off on a tangent. I don't know where I'm supposed to be going.
No, didn't feel like a tangent, and I'm going to follow you there because I know that you have a long history as an activist. Very long history, including, ties to the Black Panther Party, if I'm not mistaken.
Not ties. Once a Black Panther, you always a Black Panther.
I know that, but I never want to go put,
I'm not afraid.
Put you out in front of your skis.
No, I am not afraid. I am not afraid of who I am and what I am. And in fact, sometimes I quote a 10-point platform and program. We want freedom. We want power to determine the destiny of our own black community. We want full employment for our people. All those things are still the same as they were in 1966. So I'm not ashamed of that. It's what formed me into the man I am today. And I'm proud of it and always will be.
And you're also part of, Pasadena Community Coalition. What is that?
Yeah, Pasadena Community Coalition, which, started maybe 30 years or so ago. And I revitalized it into a nonprofit about 10 years ago. It basically is an advocacy organization for our community. If we have something that's going on in our community, and the top few things, I can't remember right now, but it's police accountability, affordable housing, the same things that the party talked about, the affordable housing, jobs, social and economic development for our community in particular. We want to make sure that we have economic equity. People always talk about diversity, equity, inclusion. Let me tell you, this is about inclusion of our entire community. I don't want to hear that. I ain't got time for that. There were mostly black people up in Northwest Pasadena, Altadena, but it became very diverse. I have a Latino guy that lives next door to me. I have people all through that community. And so I want to hear about the joining of our communities, and that's what the Black Panther Party was about also. It was, people always, they demonize us, but you know why they were afraid of us? Because we were organizing people around breakfast. We were organizing people around getting roaches out of their house. They say, wait a minute, they ain't afraid of no guns from us. They're not afraid of our gun. They got more guns than us. They're afraid of us educating the people and bringing them where they need to be to move us where we need to go. That's why they're afraid.
I want to let the KBLA delegation know that we are actually streaming, not in our usual spot. Are we up, Ross? Ross Jordan is here. My friend has volunteered. It's at YouTube On the Spot Live. So even though you won't find it at your usual KBLA spot, you can click on the Spot Live, and we are streaming from the church here in Pasadena, Altadena.
Yeah, Dominique, I think it's important for the listening audience to know that just 15 days ago, the world was watching Pasadena, right? The Rose Parade. 1 million people lined up just a few blocks from where we are, and even more watching on television the game and everything. And so while this may have seemed very picturesque, people marvel at the weather. Not more than 7 days later, our lives have been changed forever. And I wanted Martin to kind of just touch on, when you talk about the advocacy of the Pasadena Community Coalition, and kind of how you've been instrumental in making sure that black represent not only is just 70% on the football field, right? There are some black folks in other spaces. Can you tell a little bit about what you and Mr. Bakewell and others did some time ago with the Tournament of Roses?
Yeah, with the Pasadena Community Coalition. That was back 30 years ago. The Tournament of Roses back 30 years ago did not allow black people and people of color to be a part of the Tournament of Roses.
Wow.
And so back 30 years ago, Danny Bakewell and a number of people stopped the parade and said, you have to recognize black people and people of color. And so that was the first, that's way before they were talking about DEI, right? And so they said, oh, no, you're not going to do that. We're going to arrest you and put you in jail. So go do that. Danny's sitting in the middle of the street with this. And guess what? This is what it's about. And people don't understand it. It's about money. When they saw that the parade could actually be stopped by black people, they said, oh, my goodness. Let's come to the table. Make a long story short, we got a program in place where black people and people of color were able to come in. And about seven years ago, I did a big event, which we invited all of the regular, not the big wigs, all the regular everyday community to come to for the first African-American president of the Tournament of Roses. And that was about 6 years ago. Right after that, we had the first Latina president of the Tournament of Roses. And
we're gonna hold it right there until we come forward on the other side of this break with news, traffic, and weather. Dominique, you want to take us out?
Well, I do want to say we got a couple seconds here that you're not just speaking theoretically, Mr. Gordon. You also have been impacted by the situation, and we're going to talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, if my best half, because I don't have no better half, if the best half to me hadn't called me, I was back in the back room. She had left to take care of her mother in Sacramento. If she hadn't called me and woke me up and said, I can see from the ring, the fire. I said, oh, girl. Come on. She said, go to the door, please, and pack your stuff and get out. I opened the door, and the fire was about 6 football fields at the most away from me. I could see across the street, and some of my relatives, my friends were leaving their houses. My son was coming up the street because she had called him. I got my stuff out, with what little I could, and my dogs, and got out. And I wanted to come back up the hill to get my other car. They said, I'm sorry, you can't come back up. Your house is gone. It's gone.
I want to hear what happened next when we come forward. We're broadcasting live from Pasadena, Altadena on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Southern California faces dangerous winds and wildfires with gusts up to 70 miles per hour in the mountains and 30 to 50 miles per hour on the coast. Red flag warnings are now expired. The Biden administration is canceling $4.5 billion in student loan debt for 261,000 Ashford University attendees due to widespread misrepresentations by the school. The loan forgiveness stems from a successful lawsuit brought by the DOE. Impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has been arrested after a second attempt involving 3,000 officers. Yoon, in a pre-recorded video, said he would appear before the Corruption Investigation Office to prevent bloodshed. And Drake is suing Universal Music Group for defamation and harassment over Kendrick Lamar's song Not Like Us, which accuses him of being a pedophile. Drake claims the song's campaign endangered him and his family. I'm Bree Wood on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
New year, fresh start. Why not with better water? LifeSource Water gives you clean, filtered water from every tap with no salt and no frequent maintenance. Call 800-WATER-99 or visit lifesourcewater.com today. Warranty limitations apply.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers and Clippers won their home games last night. The Clippers beat Brooklyn by 59 points, the largest victory margin in franchise history. Brooklyn's 67 points is a season low for all NBA teams. Kawhi Leonard had 23 points. James Harden dropped 21 and had 11 assists. The Clippers are at Portland tonight. The Lakers snapped a 3-game losing streak with a 9-point win over Miami. Rui Hachimura led the Lakers with 23 points. LeBron and Anthony Davis had 22 each. The Lakers played Brooklyn Friday night at Crypto. Tiger Woods, who sponsors the Genesis Invitational Golf Tournament in Pacific Palisades, remain uncertain if the event will be played. The Genesis is scheduled for February 13th to the 16th at the Riviera Country Club. The course did not suffer any damage from the wildfires, although numerous homes nearby were destroyed. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery, embrace the company of family and friends, and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at choosechangeca.org.
To our beloved greater Los Angeles community affected by the devastating wildfires, we stand with you. From all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, our hearts go out to those who've lost loved ones, homes, businesses, belongings, and precious memories. In these challenging times, we're here to keep you informed and connected. For the latest updates, resources, and ways to help your neighbors in need, stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580. Together, we'll rebuild. Together, we'll recover. Together, we are Los Angeles strong. KBLA Talk 1580. Your voice, your community, your station.
Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Get out the way. Ooh. First things first with Dominique DiPrima at 6 a.m. Tavis Smiley at 9 a.m. Truth Time with Dr. Cornell West and Nina Turner at 12 noon. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show at 1 p.m. The D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show at 2 p.m. A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nee Quarterly Quartet at 4 p.m. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Tune in weekdays from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the talk of the town. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Here they come, y'all. Here they come.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
There's a lot of community and communication going on as we broadcast live. Thank you, Miles, from the church here. The Pasadena Church is what it's called. We're at the East Campus, 425 North Sierra Madre Villa, and just everyone knows each other here. And that's, I guess, what everyone's been trying to communicate. Sahara Ali is in the building. Zoe Williams is in the building. Brandon Lamar is in the building. Mrs. Farr is here. We got a lot of folks. And, of course, our own Charlotte and Sky are here. And big thank you to Mr. Noto, our engineer who's making all of this happen. Martin Gordon, you were just telling us about a wall of fire that was only a few football fields away from your home when you found out, when your loved one called you and said, get out now.
Yes.
And then what happens?
Fortunately, my son, she had called and told my son to come up and get me because she says I'm lazy and want to watch football. And so he did. And when he came, he helped me get out. We went down the hill. And I said, I want to go back up really quickly and get a car for my better half. And they said, you can't do that because your house is already gone. And they said, you're lucky that you left when you did, or you'd be dead.
Oh my
And so
goodness.
basically my better half saved my life. If she hadn't called me, I probably would have been asleep and I'd probably be dead.
Wow. So you were really seconds.
Seconds
away.
I didn't realize that because even though I looked out, I didn't really believe it. It looked surreal. I went, oh, they're going to stop it. You know, we've been there before. And so, my family must have called me and said, you think you're indestructible? well, I guess I'm not, but fortunately I got out of there. But it was quite scary, surreal.
Came knocking on your doors, no text message alerts. You didn't get any notification.
None whatsoever. And some other parts of the community said they did get alerts, but our whole community, nobody got alerts. When I came outside, some of my people were, I know everybody in that community, and they said, Martin, they were knocking on people. Our own people were knocking on doors, and before I left, I saw most of the people outside, and some of the young people were knocking on doors to make sure the older people got out. I understand that a couple of older people died in the fire.
Yeah,
right in my neighborhood.
I'm quite sure. Ishel, you said you did get an alert.
I did.
And I talked to some others who did, who said, look, we live around here. There's always a fire. It's always windy. We didn't think really anything of it.
True. So this is actually the fourth fire that, we've seen come through those hills. Maybe about 10 years ago, well, more than that, it had to be maybe 94. There was another fire that came through and took one of the, Williams family homes. They were up in the hills though. So we've seen that. My grandmother and my aunt were actually in the home when it started encroaching up the mountain, and really it made it out. They were in Rubio Canyon. But you never think that you're not going to go back. And as you don't think.
Why would you?
Because we've been here, it's like wash, rinse, and repeat. We've done this already.
Your family's been here for some time.
For some time. And as we think about, my mother's house was one of the first on the street. And I remember her and another lady, and watched everything kind of grow around it. So as you're there, it's like, oh, let's just pack a few things. They said, take the valuables. I did that. But if I had known, or it would have registered to me that I wasn't coming back, the things that I would have taken would have been different. So when you go, oh, I'm coming back, I left things open. I had just put out fresh flowers. The house was going to be beautiful. It was going to smell good when I came back. It smells okay. But had I thought or had an inkling that I wasn't going to go back, there are things that I can think of now. I've written children's books, and I can think of the bookshelf in my office where there are 4 that are written that haven't been put into a computer.
Oh, wow.
Ishel, tell me about the mailbox, your books that you do have published.
Oh, yeah. So I wrote a book. It's called But Mommy, Our Last Name Isn't Foster, talking to children about being a foster family. My family has fostered for forever. And had printed books, and it was something that I self-published. And as I did that, then all of these books are in the garage, Spanish, English, wanting to be inclusive. So when you go around the city, you see all of these little libraries that people have put up in front of their homes, just to kind of share knowledge with other people. And my neighbor, Marcia Fowler, had a little library. And as we took my son back, because he's gone, he went with me the second time that I went, something told me to look into the little library. Because if there was a book that was damaged or that I wasn't going to sell, I would just go around the community and put them in these little libraries. And as I walked down the street with my son after he left me and ran to my mother's house and came back in tears, I just said, look in there. And there was one of my books. And It's the only one that I have.
Wow. Martin Gordon, what happened?
Wow, girl.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
She knows my better half. We live not far from each other. This is just our community. I'm just overwhelmed.
So where are you now? Where did you go? What did you do?
Well, unfortunately, I had some problem with insurance, and of course they always.
Already?
Yeah, they said they canceled me. I won't go into that because there's probably going to be lawsuits involved around that. So I didn't really get any money to be able to stay places. My son is helping me in my best half. She's not better, my best half. Stay together and with a place to stay. Melina Abdullah from Black Lives Matter has been coming out to help me also. Shay Dixon, who is part of the Black Panther Party Alumni Association, that helps us. We meet what's left of us once a month, every Sunday, and remember who we are and what we need to pass on to our communities. And so I think more important than me, though, is the community, is that I'm going to take care of myself. You know who I am? I've been in worse deals than this on the streets, fighting face-to-face with the police. This is nothing to me. But to my community, I'm concerned with people that have the issues that they're having now, to make sure they have food, clothes, that I want to put a FEMA representative in the Pasadena Community Coalition office, hopefully by next week, because it is my people that I must be concerned about. I'm a survivor. You know, guess what, Dominique? I can live on the street.
No, we don't want that, though.
I'm not saying that, but
that.
I can live on the street and still help my community as if I had a house. Because what's most important is that I have to feel that my community is safe and ready to get back. Let me stop there for a moment.
Now, Dominique, you're getting the Dina love, the Dina way. This is just how it is here. I mean, both of these individuals have been to my home. I've been in their homes. This is just how it moves around here, right? Everyone is connected. And I was remarking yesterday to you, Dominique, just being out on lake where I would normally just see, I may not know the brother, right? But there was always going to be that "what's up, brother" nod. And it just is already feeling a little bit different.
There's no one there. Yeah. Sahara Ali has stopped by. She's also a Pasadena Altadena resident, and she's part of our KBLA team. Just some quick words from you, Sahara.
It's a gift to be here and to connect with all the souls as we stand as a collective, and understanding that we are a community and that we have the power to shift everything in our lives right now. You know, from the ashes we rise, and as we rise, we come together as a collective, knowing that there's a power greater than us moving through us, and we have to lean into that right now. And I'm a sound healer, and I'm opening my space and giving my time to help recalibrate our nervous system so that we can be anchored, so that we can be in the light, and that we can be in our power, and that we can pull from the strength of our soul and our ancestors to transcend all of this. And I'm here this morning to share some sound and to meet all these beautiful people who are willing to not black down, as we say on KBLA, and to stand for who we are, and what we stand for, and to fight for the community that is ours in Altadena. You know, when I was a teenager, when there was this whole flight from my area, I grew up in the Crenshaw area, and everybody moved up to Altadena. Altadena was a place to be, all the artists, all the creative people, and they built homes, and it's like 5 generations of people here in Altadena, and it's beautiful, and we want to rebuild that. And I'm here to support that. I'm here to support all the people that are open to receive a healing so that they can pull together their strength and that we can manage our emotions and get busy.
Thank you, Sahara. You can find her at saharaali.com. Yes, Martin.
You reminded me of something. Black people came to Altadena to be around other black people. They redlined Pasadena so we couldn't have places to live. And we came up. I moved out of Pasadena to Altadena to be around black people. People think that black people don't love each other. We love each other. We want to be with each other. We're the most prolific and smartest people in the world. And so don't get it twisted. We came to Altadena to be together. And they used to say, don't go past, what was it? That's not Mountain, one of the avenues, Montana, because that's going to be Altadena where them black people live. That's where I want to be, and that's where we were. Listen, she knows. And we love Altadena, and we want our black community to stay there.
On that note, we're going to continue this conversation. So much to unpack here. Ishel, when we come forward, I want to find out from you. You are a therapist. You're helping others. What do people need to do? How are you coping? And that piece of it, you know, that seems to be maybe the biggest piece of this. So we'll look at that and more when we continue on KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
Powell Duncan Shannon and their client CTPP ICA 2207 stereo monocompatible.
The first time I tried to quit vaping, I told myself that it was like a mountain that I had to climb over. And once I got to the other side, it would be clear. But I couldn't make it over. What really got me to quit was my little sister. I saw her vaping. So I was back in the mountain, but this time, she was up there with me. It's weird what you can do for others that you won't do for yourself.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
Lena Bloom for the Bail Project.
Imagine you're stuck in a jail cell and you can't afford bail and someone offers you a way out. Just plead guilty and you can go home and kiss your kids goodnight. What do? What thousands have. You plead guilty whether you are or not. Cash bail makes poverty a crime. That's why the Bail Project helps those who can't afford it while fighting to end cash bail. Because freedom should be free.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
That was another way. I would smoke once an hour. That didn't work either. All that would happen at some point of the day, I would end up doubling up. Other ways that I tried to quit was I stopped buying cigarettes totally. But if I took 3 puffs off of 15 friends, those didn't count because they weren't my cigarettes and they weren't full cigarettes. I went through a lot.
Every attempt is part of your story to quit for good. Visit Kick It California today at kickitca.org.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
And we are broadcasting live from the Pasadena Church. It's 425 North Sierra Villa, and you are welcome to join us this morning. We have some folks here, and thank you guys so much for being in the space with us this morning. James Farr, who's co-produced this broadcast today, our Pasadena correspondent, Martin Gordon, who is a community activist, Black Panther for life, and an impacted resident who lost his home. And Ishelle Williams, same thing. You said 6 homes collectively between your family, all in the Altadena area.
Yes.
And you're a therapist. You help others.
I do.
How are you helping others, and how are you helping yourself?
I went back to work Monday.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I think part of the obligation, and not necessarily the obligation because I chose this, but part of what I know to be true is that the oath that you take is to do no harm and to leave people better than how you found them. And in doing no harm, and I had to make sure I was ready, and I really wasn't, but it's continuity, right? And that's continuity and community. So as I'm able to be someone's continuity, they don't have to know what I'm going through for me to help them.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You, Ishelle Williams, you earlier said people are telling you, oh, it's just stuff, which I can't believe people can fix their mouth to say that to you anyway. But if people are saying that, but I'm seeing, as you said, it's your family legacy, but there's also, I wonder if there's some kind of genetic thing about Black communities burning down and being burned down and being displaced and destroyed that is activating some kind of collective grief.
I would say absolutely. When when we think about epigenetics, right?
Yes.
We think about epigenetics and we go back, and something about epigenetics says I'm built for this. So that means that in order to be built for this, you have to rise and fall and rise and fall so that you get stronger every generation.
What does that mean, though, epigenetics, for the audience that may not be familiar with? I know what you're speaking about, but what kind of ground that for us?
So as black people have evolved, right, and not through evolution, but as we've come across the times, with every single thing that we've ever been through, we had to figure out a way to survive. Our genes, our biology has changed along that time. So as our biology has changed, so have we gotten stronger. And as we sit, and as I sit in this seat, and people are like, you went back to work? And I said, yeah, I went back to work. I've taken the time in between and the breaks that I needed. And, you know, Dominique, as we were talking about mental health, I needed my own support system. So as I developed that support system, I was on the freeway on Monday, and I was going east, and the police were going west back towards where I just left. And everything in my body said, get off of this freeway and turn around. So I had to call one of my, you know, good friends and say, I'm going to need you to talk me through this. So it's every single person helping the next person. And if you are a mental health professional in the space and you have the opportunity to give your time, people need to be heard. And they're going to need to be heard for a really long time. Because as they are not only physically, you know, here, but mentally and emotionally and spiritually, they are going to continue to need support for a long time.
James, you keep talking about the long term, the long view of rebuilding.
I don't think rebuilding is even framing it up the best way. This is new. The devastation is so intense that there's going to require a shift for folks to understand that what they were used to may not be what it is going forward. It'll be months before the cleanup is done. It's a lot of damage, Dominique. It's not going to be just as simple as pushing a broom and sweeping some things. It'll be quite some time.
Martin Gordon, you're an organizer. What are the lessons from the movement, from the Black Panthers and some of our most, you know, successful organizing of which you have been a part that we need to bring to today?
Well, I think first of all, I start when I look at the devastation. I think about Tulsa. I think about New Orleans and Katrina. I think of the Vietnam War. We look like a war zone. And so my most concern is that how are we going to bring our community back, and how are we going to bring it back black? And so a lot of the people that lost everything, some with no insurance, some with all kinds of issues, how are we going to organize ourselves as a community with those that have, I'm talking about black people in particular, and those that have not, to make sure that we don't lose Altadena? So our organizing has got to be around economic development for our community. We must reach out to every avenue, and I'm talking about the old, the young, and the people that have the ability to help us rebuild our community. And if we don't do that, we will lose the biggest part of the black community in the Pasadena, Altadena area, and we'll have lost much.
What would Michael Zinzin do?
Michael would say, Martin, come here right now. We gonna go take care of this, and we gonna go down to L.A. We gonna get some people, and we'll get some people down here at the movie stars and all the people. We gonna protest around on Hollywood Boulevard until somebody comes down and help our community. Right now.
Ishelle Williams is just sharing with me the pictures of her home, and the first picture that you shared, Ishelle, is just like an archway with your address, and that's the only thing left.
That in the fireplace, the chimney.
I just can't even imagine coming home and that's all that's left of your home, your day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm. There was a the patio furniture on the porch, and that is actually framing the porch. So the house began a little bit after that. And when I was there, I had a friend pass by, and she says, were you sitting at the window looking out? And I said, that's outside, that's not inside, but you can't tell the difference.
That's crazy.
It's blocks of that, Dominique. It's not one house.
Well, yeah, I mean, we
two.
started with 7,000 structures
Yeah.
destroyed. Most of the huge fires, it's 10 is considered a lot, or 12 or 30, not thousands.
Thousands.
It's hard to imagine. It's just hard to imagine. And when I look up and down the street, I live on a street called McNally. When I look up and down the street and I see all the way to the mountains that all of my friends' houses are gone, and going 12 blocks each way, everybody I know, their house is gone. When I call somebody, the first thing I say is, sorry about your loss. They say, sorry about yours. They said, we talk about insurance. We talk about what's going to happen in our community. And we're all afraid that we could possibly lose, the most important part of Altadena, which is our culture and our development. We want to make sure. I want my son to have that house with what I thought when I died. We've got to have generational wealth just like other people do. And so this has wiped us out and could possibly mean that the generational wealth, look, she was talking about the houses and homes that are not there, that maybe that could happen and we won't have that for our kids. And some people go, well, what do you care? You're old. I care about my son. I care about these young people. I care about that guy, Brandon Lamar out there. I don't know if he's still there. I care about him. I want to make sure him, his family, and his young wife, that they have something when I'm gone. And if I don't do that, I'm not a man.
You're the greatest man I know, Martin. One of, certainly.
James, you co-produced this show. 60 seconds here before we continue. What do you want to share?
I want people to know that this community, my wife and I are transplants. I joke and say that we have to file a visa every year to remain here, right? But this community, Dominique, I can't think of another black place to raise a family, to form so many friendships. I am selfishly grieving not being able to see people on the streets, right? To just be outside and, run into Martin or Ishel. And I know we were supposed to be at Perry's joint. I mean, what you don't understand, Dominique, or what you're coming to understand is just how connected this community is and how we all love on one another. We fight hard here, but we love even harder. And that's the spirit of this community. And I'm grateful to be here, to make it my home. And I feel an extra responsibility to tell these stories so that they are preserved. Because 25 years from now, folks may think there were no black people here.
Yeah, we're going to make sure that doesn't happen, and we appreciate the story that you did and that you filed in the laprogressive.com right now. Lots of voices, lots of stories to share. Martin Gordon and Ishel Williams, thank you so much for coming and being willing to be so vulnerable with us today and let people understand.
I think there's so many people that can't have this conversation right now. And the few of us, or the many of us actually, because there's a lot of people that can have the conversation. They just don't have the platform. So,
well, we're going to be here. This is not a one-off. We're going to be here. We're going to keep telling these stories. We're broadcasting live from Pasadena, Altadena, KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Southern California faces dangerous winds and wildfires with gusts up to 70 miles per hour in the mountains and 30 to 50 miles per hour on the coasts. Red flag warnings are now expired. The Biden administration is canceling $4.5 billion in student loan debt for 261,000 Ashford University attendees due to widespread misrepresentations by the school. The loan forgiveness stems from a successful lawsuit brought by the DOE. Impeached South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has been arrested after a second attempt involving 3,000 officers. Yoon, in a pre-recorded video, said he would appear before the Corruption Investigation Office to prevent bloodshed. And Drake is suing Universal Music Group for defamation and harassment over Kendrick Lamar's song Not Like Us, which accuses him of being a pedophile. Drake claims the song's campaign endangered him and his family. I'm Bree Wood on the Black Information Network, your home for Black News First.
New year, fresh start. Why not with better water? LifeSource Water gives you clean, filtered water from every tap with no salt and no frequent maintenance. Call 800-WATER-99 or visit lifesourcewater.com today. Warranty limitations apply.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers and Clippers won their home games last night. The Clippers beat Brooklyn by 59 points, the largest victory margin in franchise history. Brooklyn's 67 points is a season low for all NBA teams. Kawhi Leonard had 23 points. James Harden dropped 21 and had 11 assists. The Clippers are at Portland tonight. The Lakers snapped a 3-game losing streak with a 9-point win over Miami. Rui Hachimura led the Lakers with 23 points. LeBron and Anthony Davis had 22 each. The Lakers played Brooklyn Friday night at Crypto. Tiger Woods, who sponsors the Genesis Invitational Golf Tournament in Pacific Palisades, remain uncertain if the event will be played. The Genesis is scheduled for February 13th to the 16th at the Riviera Country Club. The course did not suffer any damage from the wildfires, although numerous homes nearby were destroyed. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ow! Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Get out the way. Move. First things first with Dominique DiPrima at 6 a.m. Tavis Smiley at 9 a.m. Truth Time with Dr. Cornell West and Nina Turner at 12 noon. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. The Jesse Jackson Jr. Show at 1 p.m. The D.L. Hughley Afternoon Show at 2 p.m. A More Perfect Union with Dr. Nee Quarterly Quartet at 4 p.m. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Here they come, y'all. Here they come. Get out the way. Get out the way. Get out the way. Tune in weekdays from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for the talk of the town. Only on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about. Here they come, y'all. Here they come.
Good morning or evening, friends. Here's your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to